Good afternoon, everyone, and a very warm welcome to QuickBooks Labs. Sorry we're a little bit late, and especially to people like Paul Kersey, who's been sat there waiting. A few technical problems at our end. Well, we say a few technical problems. There was one technical problem, but we'll move swiftly on. Welcome to QuickBooks Labs, the only QuickBooks Lab, and therefore the best QuickBooks UK-based podcast in the whole universe. We aim to go live within the first week of each month, at which point we hang around these microphones, talk about all the latest news, tips and tricks for the world of QuickBooks Online and the world of accounting itself. And boy, do we have some stuff to talk about today. I'm one of your hosts, Aaron Patrick, a chartered accountant and owner of an accounting firm called Boffic, certified UK trainer, fancy logo, that QuickBooks chap on YouTube. And with me is a panel of experts. Charlie, I'm going to let you go first today. Would you like to tell people who you are, what you do, and how people can find you?
Yeah, hello. Oh, I think I've got a slight time delay on mine, so I hope that doesn't cause problems. I am Charlie Khan. I am a chartered accountant based in West London, long-time QuickBooks user. I run a group on Facebook called QBOA User Group for accountants. You can just go to Facebook in the groups and look for QBOA UK. And I am also, as my T-shirt says, if you can see it somewhere. Oh, it's blurred me out. A member of the QuickBooks Accountant Council, along with you two fine chaps. So, yeah, that's me.
Yeah, and you can go next.
Cool. Johan Gori. I'm the Group Managing Director of On Point Accounting Group. I am the co-founder of Client Engager Practice Management Software. I am the co-host on Ask the Accountant podcasts and other series that we run, and also a member of the Accounting Council. There we go.
You still got your sticker on.
I've got to get my hat. I've got to go get my hat.
Well, that was the cool thing, wasn't it? You leave the stickers on, right? That's the cool.
We haven't spoke about it, have we? Now we've got personalised.
Oh.
Charlie's going to get his, yeah. But now we've got personalised, haven't we? QBC on mine, JG on yours.
I spoke about it in my Day in the Life blog, which can be found on my YouTube channel.
Here it is. CNC, look at that. Oh, what do we guess the N's for? I'm going to go Nigel. What about you, Jan?
Say again.
What's the N?
The N, my initial, CNC.
So it's your middle name we can guess, but I'm going Nigel.
Okay.
Natalie.
Johan?
It's his weekend name.
It is Natalie. Yeah, Johan was closest with Natalie. It's Nicholas.
Nicholas. Oh,
Nicholas.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
Now, let's not start telling people your favourite 4-digit number or your national insurance number, or we'll get ourselves in trouble. So, again, we have a cracking install for you, and let's figure out how this all works. So first of all, we are live to the world at a regular time of 4:30 UK time on the first Wednesday of each month. And if you're listening back to us at any other time through the podcast, and why not get involved and join in live, where we've got Paul here. Hello, Paul. How are you doing? Bofix is here as well. No, Bofix isn't here. That's and Kunda's here as well. So great to see everyone. There's more of you popping in as well. Great to see. Furthermore, we're live on the podcast services around the globe. So feel free to subscribe on your podcast service of choice. And our agenda for today is as follows. We are going to talk about a couple of tiny little updates that have come to QuickBooks UK. So we're going to make sure that that comes through. And also we're going to talk about some updates that have happened in the US product, which we think you're going to be really excited about. So let's just quickly go through. Oh, and then we're going to talk about Apron, and then we're going to talk about Practice Manager. And I think we've got some interesting things to talk about practice manager, haven't we, people? We've got one very positive down in the bottom there, and one not so positive in the side, and I'm going to stay completely neutral on it. So we'll see how that goes. Let's talk about some updates as we've gone forward, though. So if I just quickly bring my screen up, really small this one, but if you go to your new bar now, you can add a customer and add a supplier. We like that. I mean, I feel like this page has not had some love in a long time. So the fact that it's had some updates to it is quite exciting, because hopefully that means some more's on its way. Am I over analyzing that, or what do you think? What's everyone's point of view of these quick updates?
I think it's logical to put them there. It's the new button, so add makes sense.
Yeah, I don't have a problem having it there. I mean, I'm not sure. Most of the time when I add a customer or add a supplier, it's at the point of creating an invoice or a bill or something anyway, so I don't need it terribly much, but quite nice to have it there for people who want to. Yeah, all fine.
Yeah. I'm just hoping this gets something. I don't know what it needs. It's been the same for a long time, right? And we've had our new left-hand navigation panel that's been nice and swanky. Maybe it's time for a new bar. Maybe a long loop. But yeah, you'll see that.
There's a lot of accountants and bookkeepers that are reeling from the shock of change already. Do we want to inflict more change on them?
Oh, I'm up for it. So, if anything, it gives me more content to talk about on my channel. So, I'm always up for quick change. Now, on this next one, I've done really well at redacting the client information. As you can see there, may have missed one slight error of it. So please don't read the top line. But there's this really weird...
I thought you were on your final warning for GDPR.
I know, right? I know. I'm just pushing it out there, pushing the boundaries even more. But we now have this new feature solution. Basically, the client can come along and say, we've reviewed your invoice but need some more info, and basically they've reviewed, and reach out to let you know how you'd like to be paid. Effectively, they're getting the option to ask you to put the pay now button onto QuickBooks. Now, as Johan mentioned in beforehand, this does seem a bit spammy. We've got a US dollar sign just here. We've got a bank transfer option there, which is US only at this point in time. It seems like it's a bit of an American feature that kind of sneaked into the UK without properly going through the kind of channels and stuff. But I personally think it's a great feature. What about you guys? Go for it.
So I've got two issues here. Well, maybe a few, but so first issue is QuickBooks is such an easy target for anyone to send fake invoices on behalf of your company from. There is a known spam target there. And same with Xero. Like, they're both equally easy targets. So it's very easy to format an email and make it look like it's come from someone's QuickBooks and someone and you'll pay. So it's so important when they launch new stuff like this that we're informed, which we haven't been, and that it looks right from day one. Putting dollars on there and putting features on there that aren't available in the UK, the first thing I saw of it, I binned it and I put it in the junk because I expected it to be, I didn't even want to entertain it because it was highly likely to be spam.
Yeah.
So they've done themselves no favors there. And it's been very poorly executed. My second and biggest issue is, this is my business. I will run my business how I choose. And if I've chosen not to turn on the payment feature from QuickBooks, I do not expect them to be empowering my customer to tell me how they want to pay. Yeah. I do business on my terms. They will use the facilities I provide.
Can I ask for one small counter to that, though? If the rumors are true and that the payment portals are going to be open up in the coming time frame, whatever that time frame is going to be, and say someone like Cresco was available to have a pay now button there, would your view change?
No, because I would still dictate how my payments are provided. If Cresco was powering the pay now button, then I'd have turned it on, and they would have never needed to demand that they can pay me through this pay now button.
I suppose
Like-
the only time that doesn't happen though is recurring invoices, right? Because we have that problem. We'll have a recurring invoice go out. We've not pressed the pay now button, or they've stopped, their direct debit solution, they've cancelled it or whatever. There's been a reason why they're not got that pay now button turned on. They're the only times when
details at the bottom of my invoice.
True. Do clients pay
And
by
they've
bank
also
these
got a
days?
link. And they've got a link on both the email and the invoice to Cresco.
Yeah.
So they've got direct debit, they've got bank details, and I've given them 3 ways to doing it. I'm not letting them dictate they want a 4th.
Well, funny story, that redacted client on there that you obviously don't know who it was, so you can't go through GDPR issues or anything. He's on what do you call it, on Go Cardless already for direct debit. It's a recurring transaction. I don't know why that thumb came up. And basically it's all like, it is, it should be the perfect way of doing it. So I have no idea how he's activated this or what's happened or anything else, but I think not even a new client, so I can't even say that they were, trying to pay it and wasn't sure that it was going to get paid by direct debit or anything. So I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, it seems like.
Which then adds to, if you take that scenario that you've got there, and you're presented with that screen, which you've not been told about, has got the wrong currency on, it adds to more suspicious looking email.
Yeah. Charlie, your thoughts?
I completely agree with Johan. I think absolutely the most important thing is it's down to the supplier to decide how their customers pay them. It's not for the customer to tell the supplier how they want to pay them. The issue I had, and I could be wrong about this because I stopped testing it a while later, was when you start adding in the credit card options. I mean, I've had situations with a client in the past where the only way they could get one particular customer of theirs to pay them who hadn't paid their bill for about 18 months was to turn on credit cards. And the problem is that when I turned it on, it suddenly made it available to every single person to pay them. So I contacted my client's customer on their behalf, said, when can you pay it? I turned it on, let them pay with a card, and then turned it back off again to stop everybody else trying to pay with cards, because they had to pay a commission to whichever, I think it was probably PayPal, but whichever card company it was, they had to pay a commission, and they didn't want all their other customers paying them and losing commission when all their other customers were happily paying them with either direct debits or bank transfers. So I agree with you, and it's down to the supplier to decide how they want people to pay them.
Yeah, makes sense. Well, I suppose all we can do is keep an eye out on it. I generally believe this has been turned on by accident, or it's gone through it shouldn't have been activated, especially in its current format with the US branding all over it and dollars and everything else. So we'll see how it goes. What we've got in the comments, we've got come on Cresco, we want the pay now button. So the other day from a client and thought it was good. Just
to clarify that though, Kirsty, it's not Cresco we're waiting to hurry up. Cresco are banging at the door of QuickBooks. The pay now button is monopolized by PayPal. It's QuickBooks that needs to do something with it. It's not a reflection on Cresco for being slow or anything. Yeah.
And your next comment, apron.
But could that not before? Oh, sorry, I was going to ask though on that. Because Go Cardless now allow one-off. I'm missing a point here. I'm not sure. Go Cardless now, do they not allow one-off payments? Could you not do Could they not link since they've already got a Go Cardless?
Not through not through QuickBooks. They don't.
But they could do, no? In the same way that they could for Cresco.
The only feature that's on the API between Go Cardless and QuickBooks, to my understanding, is the direct debit feature.
Right.
Yeah, which was built for Go Cardless, wasn't it? It was like a custom-built API, so no one else has access to it. Not that there's anyone else out there doing direct debits anyway, so it's not like we're asking.
Yeah, we're not suffering.
Yeah.
Well, Ignition do direct debits, but yeah.
Is it direct or is it standing order?
No, it's not even standing order. It's a subscription to a credit on a bank card or a credit card. It's not direct debit guaranteed.
Oh, is it? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, because I think Stripe do a direct debit knockoff as well, but again, it's same issue as Johan just said, isn't it?
It's a recurring charge on your bank card.
Right then, so that's pretty much it for updates for the UK, apart from the big one, practice management, which
QuickBooks
will
Labs over in 17 minutes. Well done, guys.
Yeah,
I interrupted you when you bring it. You brought up Kirsty's comment about Apron Hub.
Yes, we'll swing round to that one.
Okay,
I was about to say that we've got that as a topic that we're going to talk about, so we're going to swing back round to that. So that's kind of the updates for UK, apart from the PM release, which is very, very exciting that we'll come to. But first of all, I thought I'd quickly show you some updates that have happened over the US that I know are coming to the UK. So this is a bit of a preview of what to expect. So the first one is profit and loss has had its what they call this enhanced reporting feature turned on. Yeah. So thoughts of the new profit and loss view.
When did QuickBooks start taking lessons from Xero on what a feature update should look like? Like, I thought it was only Xero that just did fonts and layout changes to make and classed it as a new feature.
Oh, no. In fact, this is more than fonts and layout. The new enhanced feature does bring in some new functionality, especially if, and I'm just trying to find if it is available on this or not. Yeah, so you can have more than one condition on your filter. There's kind of a hierarchy update for the display. I think we lose our profit and loss by month though, which is a slight shape.
Yeah, that's not good.
How is this better than the report? The very, very customizable report we've had for years.
Oh no, months is there. Sorry, months is there. So yeah, we're okay. We've got that. So we still have our month one. The one thing that frustrates me is the all dates has gone from the from the custom dates menu. I love that feature because, especially this is a demo account, so I've got like hardly any data in it. So yeah, yeah. Thoughts like, yeah, this is what it's going to look like. This is what the new future is going to be.
What is the advantage of these over the reports that they've been running for years that work very well, that we're all used to, that are very, very customizable? What is the advantage of these? I don't get it.
So the only advantage I can put in their defense is that saving the customization options easier. So instead of doing that whole save as customized, put a name, blah, 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 you save the report and then you can go back to the report quickly and easily. That's definitely an enhancement, right? That's definitely we're used to it. We get it, but for a new user, it's a bit confusing, right? I've got to save it, then I've got to go to this separate section and find it from there. Okay, so that's an enhancement. You can export to new items. I know they've got like the Google integration, haven't they, now, that you could do if you're in advance. And yeah, there's a one, and I forget which way, where there's a way of doing a different hierarchy of grouping of the data. So you could get different data you've never been able to get before. Other than that, I'm not 100% sure. Yeah.
Well, see, what I would like to see on reports would be the ability to set the hierarchy levels. A bit like, when you group things in Excel, you can choose, let's say you've got 3 sub levels. You can choose whether you just look at level 1, 2, or 3. If you could set the hierarchies in the P&L. So for example, what I will typically do in my chart of accounts, a lot of us will do this, is you'll have accounts and you have sub accounts, specifically in the overheads. Now, if I could set it that run a P&L that just shows me at the first level, whether it's admin expenses, employee expenses, premises, whatever your headings are, or run a P&L at the next level down across the entire thing, great. That would be a nice feature.
And in fairness, that's what this is. So the new group here item there. So you can now do account name and then a subgroup, and you can go down. I think it's free. Up to 3 of them. So that's what I meant by the hierarchy. It's about the grouping and being able to move from there.
But is this picking the hierarchy from the chart of accounts, or would you have to set it up within?
Yeah. So I've got here account name as one of them, for example, and then I could add another one and then go, well, let's do transaction type, for example, and then hierarchy it down from there. And you can see, I can, poor example is demo data, but you can see here I've got sales and deposits as 2 different ones that I can then interact with through there. So we are getting that, and for advanced we get that pivot table option as well through here. So there's a few kind of extra bells and whistles is all I can really say. I'm just not 100% sure I like the layout. I just,
I don't.
yeah.
As
But
long as
is
this
it
does
just
not
us not?
replace, if they keep the old format, I've never had a problem with them adding new features, as long as they don't replace a well-loved feature that's been working for years, and a lot of us have got used to it, and just we know how it works, and it does exactly what we need. Add them new ones by all means, but as long as they don't replace the old ones.
I suppose the danger of that is how long will those old ones be supported for? Because how long do you keep putting resources in there? Do you know what I mean? Like, it's difficult, isn't it? As an app developer, Jan, how long would you support an old feature for?
But is it a feature? Yeah, I don't know. It's just a different way of
showing
showing
I've
reports.
got is why I don't think this looks any better than the previous reporting tool that we had. So I don't think, like, when I think of how do we improve like reporting tools, I want it to be more business owner friendly. Lists of numbers, we all know, business owners don't get it 9 out of 10 times. Why are we wasting time on this when we could have been developing further the insights page with the graphs and the charts?
Yeah, the overview page.
It's a misallocation of resources, in my view. And I don't see the gain. For what you have to remember is the QuickBooks client, like stereotypical client, is a small business. Those small businesses don't need categories, tags, locations, specific reports built in a specific way for their venture capitalists and people to understand and stuff. Like, they need simplicity, and the overview page is 10 times more powerful for those people.
Which hasn't had an update in a long time, has it? Since it came out.
It's too basic to be any relevance. That's why we use analytics.
It was released and then
left
that
alone.
was it, really, wasn't it? It was, yeah. I mean, it's coming, this new update. There are some extra bits we can't do now, so there is some functionality there, but yeah, I don't know.
But is it functionality that the majority of QuickBooks firms, QuickBooks businesses use?
It's very niche amount of people who take advantage of it. You're right. Yeah. But it is functionality they've been asking for, and I suppose it's functionality from QuickBooks Desktop. Is this feature parity now? That's a Ros question.
I still think it's daft that we think feature parity is something that's built in the 90s.
Yeah, but if that's what you run your business on, and that's how you've been, you had this one particular report that you were, fixated on. It's trying to bring that back to them, isn't it?
Modernize.
Kirsty says it looks tiny. That is part and parcel my fault as well, because I'm zoomed out. So does this make any better, Kirsty? It doesn't. It is smaller, but does that make any better? Paul says, I like the new reports view. I just wish I would remember the settings or let us create custom settings in this view. Yeah, that is the most frustrating thing. As soon as we go back in, it's that overall it feels more like a spreadsheet than a report now, though.
That's not a good thing. Not
for you. Some of us like spreadsheets, so some of us comfort in sound and all that, comfort in spreadsheets. But yeah, it's not as good as the old one. But then again, are we just so used to that old one that there's roasted glasses there? Maybe, possibly.
You know me, Aaron. I'm all up for change and betterment of things. I just don't see the betterment for the majority of users in cases that use QuickBooks in this.
Yeah, I'm struggling to argue against that as well. Okay. So that is the profit and loss beta that's out there now. One more positive update, we think, is the new budget option. So now we go into budgeting, we have a whole new page thrown at us. So if you remember what it looked like before compared to what it looks like now, we get to do a budget type profit and loss. I wonder if there's a tick box there. Have we got more to come in the future? Is this some sort of cash flow budgeting coming soon? Maybe, maybe not. The fact there is a tick box there is quite exciting though. We get to choose our period as we did before. We get to do consolidated or subdivided budgets. And we have this new create a budget from scratch button just here. And what is exciting as well is you can create a budget in the spreadsheet. So if I just go press next, show you the new experience, you'll see, again, this is US only at the moment, but we are looking to hopefully bring this, or this will be coming to UK at some point. But we have a whole new budgeting area. So we can put in budget totals over here, use this click to split across the row button like we had before, although that's splitting it across the row as opposed to
copying.
Copying. Okay.
I suppose if you, right, if you know your annual budget, then...
Yeah, if I'm in the budget totals, if I went into January and then it will copy them over and then it will do it back. So I actually quite like that. You get a bit of both. Just need a learning figure for that one. You get to do reference data coming through. You can do yearly, quarterly, monthly at the top here. Show all reference data as well. Close that. There's a little button here to look at compact and hide empty rows. I can't complain at this. I'm liking this a lot. Big update as well is the option to edit in spreadsheet. And what I've been told, or at least I was told, is that an NDA? Let's say I believe it's two-way sync. Go from there. So the budget has been there since day one, right? It was well overdue an upgrade. We've got to be happy with this, everyone. What are we saying? Batch actions as well.
I mean, okay, yeah. So batch actions, that's new. I don't think overall it's all that new looking.
Is it not though? I mean,
no, it looked pretty.
We never had the budget total option.
So yeah, there's some of them. Let's see what it comes out like when it comes to the UK. I have to be in spreadsheet again. I have to be honest. I can't remember the last time I ever thought I need to do a budget. I'll go to QuickBooks.
Yeah.
Well, that's because their tool wasn't.
And where's budget available now? It used to be available in all licenses. Isn't it just the Pro, the Plus and the Advanced now?
It was never all. It was
always just Plus, I think.
Yeah, Plus. Was it Essentials?
No, I think it was Essentials at one point.
Maybe. But it was, it was definitely one in Simple Start. But yeah, you're right. Yeah. Is this a Pro only, an Advanced only one? I don't know.
I wouldn't be surprised. They need to find new ways to add value to that blooming thing. And
because if you remember, budget became part of the left-hand navigation as well. It was almost like, a new feature. But it wasn't a new feature, just a feature that people didn't realize was in the settings, right?
Yeah.
Now, what I've not tried doing is because you can now bring in actuals to date and then have your budget. Can you bring in your actuals on a cash basis and then effectively create a budgeted cash flow? So you've got actual cash flows for the first, let's say, 6 months of the year, and then your budget cash flows for the next 6 months of the year. Or can you only bring, if you're assuming you're running your accounts generally on an accruals basis, could you only bring the data in on an accruals basis? Because if they can do that, if effectively you can set up a cash flow in product and then keep updating it. So you set up a cash flow for the year, and then as the years go through, say, okay, overwrite the budget cash flows with the actuals for whatever months we've completed. That would be a nice feature.
Yeah, I assume you could get that done in the new edit and spreadsheet two-way sync option because you're limitless then, right?
But I'd like to have it I'd like to have it fully in product.
Yeah. This obsession of taking everything into a spreadsheet to import it back in, I'm not on board with this at all. I think I want to do everything in product.
I get it, and it's because I remember your excitement when you heard about group accounts come in and then and learn. I get it, and I understand that. I just feel like it's the way of just giving us the tool. It's the toolbox, right? And then this is the tool to complete the tool, but to do it. And I feel like that's all they're doing is just giving us a toolbox at this point, which I'm happy enough with. Like for some clients, this is more than what they'll ever need, and they'll be really, really happy with this. And it just gives us another talking point when we're going through management meetings and stuff with them.
If they use QuickBooks Advanced.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? I mean, if you're using Advanced, I've not played with it yet, other than just first
I would
testing it.
almost go as far as to say, if you're using advanced, your business at such complexity and size, actually you need a more powerful tool than this, and a spreadsheet would, or than a spreadsheet would give you.
Yeah.
You need.
Oh no, a spreadsheet. You could do it with a spreadsheet with the fact that they've got the full. It's not an API, but whatever it is that links it to a live spreadsheet. You've got that functionality there in advance, which allows you then to create whatever you want. You can bring in, presumably, you can bring in cash or accruals basis data. You can do whatever you like on that if you want. But I've only got one client that's got advanced. So the vast majority of my clients don't need it.
I was going to say that's one more than me.
I do have one now, but yeah, it's and I've got Boffic, so technically two, but yeah. I mean, even for Boffics, this will be useful for us. Like, we might be able to get rid of our spreadsheets, might just be able to put in product. We'll see.
Until you export it into a spreadsheet.
Yeah, but at least it'll be an updated spreadsheet, right? It saves me having to get each month, go down and copy and paste. So yeah, so the new budgeting feature, I like it. I'm glad it's had some love. I'm glad it's here. Yeah, let's get this over to UK, and hopefully then we can talk about it and try and enhance on it, really, because yeah, it's a feature that's there. Cool. All right. So that was that. You wanted to talk about Apron, didn't you, Charlie?
Yeah. So Apron, for those of you who do not know what Apron is, you actually very excited to introduce me to it, Aaron, at I think it was at Accountex this year in May, whenever it was this year, Accountex in London.
Sorry,
and you said to me, go check out these guys at Apron, which I did. And what they have is a very, very nice tool that links with QuickBooks and Xero as well, but obviously links with QuickBooks. And what it does at the moment is that it pulls out of QuickBooks all of your unpaid purchase invoices from the creditor's ledger. Assuming that you have the image of the invoice itself, it brings that into Apron too. And then it uses its OCR technology to read the bank details from the invoice. And within your Apron hub, you can see all your unpaid invoices, what the bank details for them all are. Most importantly, it runs confirmation of payee checks on the screen before you've even done anything with it. So you can check that each payee, you've got the correct bank details. It's not fraudulent, which was delayed me using Apron until they launched that. But they launched that 2 or 3 months ago.
Yeah.
And I mean, just in terms of how easy it was to use, I had a demo of it a few months ago, and within 20 minutes of that demo finishing, I had added myself as a new accountant user to Apron. I had added my first client. I had brought in the invoices and paid the first suppliers, all within 20 minutes. It is incredibly easy to use. It's very intuitive. There's also a load of other features in there which they have, like you can add approvers, which does we don't have. I think there is some sort of approval process in Xero, but QuickBooks has never had approval of purchase invoices in it. So you've got that facility to add into it. And what they have just announced in the last week is they've raised a further £12 million. And they have launched 2 features. They've got the thing called an Apron Hub, which I can mention in a moment. But the thing that really excites me is that they are now working on what they're calling their Snap feature, similar to Receipt Snap in QuickBooks, but essentially doing what Dex does, what Auto Entry does, all the rest of it, where instead of getting your image of the purchase invoice into QuickBooks by some other means and then Apron pulling it out for payments, Apron will be an all-in-one shop. You will use Apron to get your purchase invoice into QuickBooks. They've already got approvals process, so you will now have the wonderful facility to have approvals of invoices before you even pay, as well as approvals on the payment process. And I, for one, cannot wait.
Charlie, where did you hear that or see that?
They announced they announced it. Yeah, in their £12 million announcement, they announced Snap as their in
so
their
I thought we were
press
just
release.
getting sued because Aaron and I have known about this for a while, but we're under non-disclosure.
No.
If it's out, it's out. Right.
Yeah, no, it is out, and
Cool.
and I made comment on it on LinkedIn, and Bogdan came back and thanked me for my comments. No, it is. I checked very carefully, but yeah, because I too was sort of aware of it prior to that. But they've announced their Snap in their press release last week. And I for me that will. I've been waiting for QuickBooks Receipt Snap to get better, but I don't need to wait any longer because April. I don't know how long it'll be. I'm hoping Q1 of the new year. Yeah. And I have absolutely no doubt that it will be brilliant, and it will blow everything else out of the water.
Yep.
Yep.
And I can't wait for it.
Yeah, it's brilliant. Just one question from your end, Charlie. You've been playing with it lately. Has it been bringing in QuickBooks bills lately? Because we just found that there's a little issue with it for a few days, but I don't know if it's been fixed now.
I think it was just your end, Darren. Like,
was
I
it?
checked all my clients and we've not had
Worked
any
for me.
issues.
Yeah.
Well, must be me then. I've yet to do the ticketing and all that rubbish. So yeah, I'll have to just go in and have a look at it. But yeah.
And no wonder I'm not getting paid.
That's exactly it. I'm not paying you until I'm not typing in your information. I don't do that anymore. I wait for Apron to do it for me.
Can we also bring a bit of attention to Apron's pricing? Because I think this is as fundamentally different and groundbreaking as anyone else's, anything else they're doing. Like, don't get me wrong. The fact that for the last few months, my team have been able to hook up a client, pull in all the bills from QuickBooks, it's reread all with OCR and pulled out the banking details with a very good success rate. And then it can also do the payroll payments quick and easy, like drag and drop the backs file and you're absolutely fine. But the subscriptions on here are phenomenal value. So, Aaron, have you got the Apron subscription models you can bring up?
Yeah, I can do it.
They've just changed it slightly, I believe, but
yeah. So yeah, it was like 30 quid a month fixed, and you could pay your bills and stuff. But they've now changed it, so you've got 3 tiers. Payroll up to 50 payments a month is free of charge.
Yeah.
I haven't got a single client that will exceed that. So I can now go to every single client and go, look, I don't need to charge you 10, 20, 30, 40 quid for the software plus our time and for delivering the service. I can now charge you for just the service. You're not paying software fees. All of a sudden, for small businesses, this is now affordable to have backs payments made for payroll. And the clients that we've been doing it with are loving life.
Yeah.
And then it's £1.20 to pay a bill, or you go onto their monthly subscription where you get X amount of bills and it works out like cheaper per bill.
Yeah, so it's £29 a month, and that includes 50 payments. So that's not 50 bills. I mean, if you got 6 bills from one supplier and you pay them all with one payment, that's only one of your 50.
Yeah.
And then if you go beyond 50 payments, then on top of that 29 quid a month, you pay 80 pence per additional transaction.
Yeah.
And then you got the pro tier, which is £49 a month, which gives you 100 supplier payments, and then reduces the 50p overage if you go over the 100.
I think
fantastic.
I think softwares in the accounting industry have got bloody greedy over the last 2 years. Everyone's putting their prices up. Everyone's going, well, what are your other options? You pay us or you do it manually, and cost of wages have gone up. People like Apron coming in and disrupting the market with pricing like that, providing it's a viable business model. Like Client Engager, we're doing really well because of our disruptive pricing. And every firm we sign up is a profitable firm for us. So I think the accounting software industry has needed this disruption for a long time to put people like Dext, auto entry potentially. We don't know what the Snap feature is going to look like, but you've had either free and crap, which is receipt capture or HubDoc. Like there's a group of people in the market that is good for, but the majority it's not. And then you've got expensive. So for disruptives like these to come in and not just price disruptively, but deliver an amazing product to disrupt that side of things as well. We've been crying out for people like Apron for the last 2 or 3 years, and I'm so pleased they're here.
Yeah. It is wonderfully easy to use. I mean, truly, truly wonderfully easy to use. I love it. Yeah. And
that new dashboard just makes things so much easier.
Well, yeah.
for
Then the
them,
other thing, yeah. So the other thing we haven't mentioned is their hub, which I was
Oh,
listening
sorry.
to. I mean, yeah. So they're calling it Hub. Say hello to. I'm looking at their press release now on their blog. So yeah, just to Johan's comment about they've announced here next in the pipeline is Apron Snap that captures invoices instantly and automatically, fetches invoices from your clients, snaps all the invoice info, categorizes it automatically, and feeds it into your bookkeeping software like Xero or QuickBooks. So that's the Snap thing, and then their Hub that they've announced. I believe that what this will do is it will allow the accountant to see all your clients' information together in one
it's like
place. You can say
screen.
this member of my staff can work with this client or these transactions,
exactly.
different roles and clients, and do all of that. And that would be fantastic for us.
It's on screen now. Look, there's the hub.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Right.
And you can see how many things are payment and wait, like pending, awaiting authorization and stuff. Like, so I saw the accounting web announcement where they said Hub is available as of today. And it's like, I've not got a Hub. So I gave the team at Apron a call and said, your press release says it's available now. It's not. So they rolled it out to me on Monday, and I've had an absolute ball playing with it. I've really enjoyed it. Like, added all my team members really quickly and easily. We've been adding more and more clients because of the new pricing tariff. Like, they're not daft.
I think they said that I've not got a Hub yet. I think they said if everybody will have it within a few weeks, but if you want it, then just as you have, you can ask for it now. I've not asked because I've been away. I've only just got back this morning.
And if you started a new one, you're guaranteed to be to have it there, aren't you? It's that sort of.
But I think we'll all have it within 3-4 weeks.
Yeah, definitely. All right, so there's the Apron update and that's how to do an update, right? Let's get everyone hyped and excited about it.
Yep.
Let's talk about our main topic of the day then, which is practice management. Oh, first of all, we've got a question from coming through. We've got Kirsty saying that she likes the sound of aprons. Yay. We definitely loving the sound of that. And says currently in development, which we'll see goes through. And Paul says, so what's the thoughts on Cresco payments versus apron? Are you suing what? Are you using one exclusively or considering each of a client by client basis?
I've dropped Cresco for bill payments because Apron just nails it. Apron has got everything I've been telling Cresco they've needed. So Cresco have been waiting for QuickBooks to open the door and for QuickBooks to store the bank details. That's a QuickBooks problem. Until QuickBooks solve it, we can't do anything with it.
Yeah.
Or you create all your clients manually, and I haven't got time for that. So to be able to, and it's open banking, so anyone using Metro Bank can't use it. Tide is unpredictable at best, whereas Apron, because they've also got the ability to pay by a bank card, it rules that problem out. Cresco could have delivered this years ago, but they chose to go down a different route, and for that reason, we still have issues trying to import pay files into Cresco that I just drag and drop, and Apron just destroys them, consumes them, dealt with it instantly. Yeah. So Cresco will always have a place for my invoicing, as it were.
Yeah. Apron are looking into APIs, aren't they, at different payrolls and stuff. So watch that space, and maybe even easier going down. So Cresco will always be our number one for, like you said, bringing money in, but making payments, unfortunately, it's not unfortunate because I like the fact that there's multiple solutions, right, and we can lean on both of them. So looking good. All right, cool. Let's talk about our main topic then, which is QuickBooks practice management. So full disclosure, we have someone in the room who is a co-owner of a rival practice management solution. So his views may be maybe unique. Maybe.
I think that's the worst part of it, though, isn't it? That my views aren't unique.
Well, no, true. You've got someone here who's been a lifelong accounting manager user for a long time, but has been on the beta for them been on the beta for practice management since it was announced and launched, and has been playing around with it. And then we've got Charlie, who played around a little bit with the kind of similar version of practice management, but you've been to every practice management solution out there, right? Like you've literally.
Oh, I've danced with all of them. Yeah.
Treaded on their toes,
Yeah,
wasted their
exactly.
time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because of people like Charlie, practice management softwares need investment.
Yeah. And I look at them all and go, isn't this great? But wouldn't it be good if it also did X? And
until they do that, I'm not moving.
Yeah.
So let's remind each other.
Are we allowed to say where QuickBooks practice managers come from, or is that all just rumor and speculation?
I mean, we can speculate. We believe it looks like a very prominent practice management solution that's already on the market. So yeah, well, we can leave it at that, can't we? I don't think we're supposed to know the ins and outs of it, but
fair enough.
Yeah, this is very similar, but they have gone their own way. They are adding features that other solution doesn't have, so it comes from there. I'll be completely frank. When I first kind of got my hands on it and played around with it, my initial reaction to this solution was it's not quite a practice management solution, but it's got potential to be an amazing task management solution. And I'm not sure too much have changed my opinion of that yet. But let's have a play around with it and let's have a look. So on screen now is the practice management dashboard. So here you get a list of all your clients, 822 of them apparently. And that's very important to know how many clients you are, because that's going to determine your fee structure going forward in terms of the fee banding. What is slightly annoying is that they've not just brought in my existing clients, but every client I've ever had on QuickBooks since day zero, including inactive ones or clients who have since moved on. So yeah, that's slightly awkward. But yeah, they're all on here. So we have our client list here. Very similar, is this, Charlie, to what you remember from that other piece of software that we're dancing around? Is that?
Yeah, I mean, it you know, like all of these things, when things get white label and the rest of it, it's slightly different, but the basic underlying tool is as it was in a previous iteration.
Yeah. You have the option to add client at the top, maybe add from company's house if you want to. We can go to a work area and we can see what tasks are outstanding at the moment. And you go into a task and you've got these options to do little tick boxes and stuff like that, and going through from there and bring them in. Now, the bit that QuickBooks has added that no other software can do, and this is where it's pretty clever, is that you do have the opportunity to do deep links directly to said client. So whatever client I was in at this point in time, I could click on this link and I will be taken to that place, to that area within QuickBooks for you then to say bank cleared in this case, for example. Now, I know long term their idea is to bring in more of these deep links, have the opportunity not just maybe bank cleared, but maybe how many transactions are going to be there will be useful, right? Like if it tells you you've got 25 transactions, 108 transactions, whatever the number is, that'll be pretty powerful, and bringing that data in. That's what, for me, when I say this is potentially going to be a fantastic task management solution, that's what it needs, right? It needs that opportunity to bring that data in, having that holistic view. Has the opportunity to chase records for you, has opportunity to have these tick boxes, and you can all of these are fully customizable. You can put that information in, and yeah, you then have the opportunity to send emails, put things through. You can see what client tasks are outstanding for a particular client. You can upload documents to sign, but then you have to send a link to the client, and that link is then how they get access to it. There's an email option, so you can bring emails in. You can look at your team. You can look at the clients. There's a reporting section, so you can see how many emails received and sent, and you can look at work to be completed this month and templates. I mean, I do find this quite interesting. According to thing I've got 882 clients, 506 of them are on QuickBooks, and I have 316 self-employed licenses, which I was not aware of, and is also, I don't think, true, but well, that's fine. It tells you how many other licenses you've got, and gives you a nice little breakdown from there. And then there's some settings, including integration options. So you've got Zapier, ZAM, contact fields, custom field groups, clients. If I jump into a client just so people can see it, go to this one here. Look like this. So you can add your contacts, add some links, and put it through from there. So whistle stop tour. I mean, I don't really feel like at this moment, full transparency, at this moment in time, the wow factors are those deep links and the ability to jump to the client from this page. So that's nice. We like that. Other than that, I'm not 100% sure what this brings to the practice management scene at this point in time, other than the fact that you've got a place to store your client data. So if you haven't got a practice management solution, yeah, I'd say this is a tick box if you're using QuickBooks, because there is, an opportunity here to do something much better than Excel, for example. But if you're already on a practice management solution, is there enough to move you over? I don't see it myself. What's everyone else's thoughts?
Well, I'll let Johan come in after because he's got his own product. But I broadly agree with what you said, Aaron. And for those people, those small practices that don't have a practice management solution, I think it definitely does add very useful features. And if they provided this to accountants, maybe if you've got more than 10 licenses, more than 10 QuickBooks licenses that you're on in your wholesale billing account, or more than 20, or more than something, and they just gave it to you, then I would have a lot more favorable view of it. But the fact that they are, no matter how many clients, you could have hundreds of QuickBooks licenses, the fact that they are charging more than you would pay a lot of third-party practice management tools for a product that is not as good as them, I think is utterly insane. I simply don't get it. If it were free, then it has value. If you've got, if you don't have a better tool elsewhere, but to pay for this in preference to another tool, I think is, I would not advise somebody to do that. Yeah, 69 a month. I mean, I can't remember how it goes up from there and how many users you can have and all the rest of it.
Unlimited users.
Unlimited, right? So yeah. But I mean, 69 quid for 100. Let's say you got a practice. Let's say you got 50 to 100 clients. You're paying 69 quid. There is a practice management solution created by somebody not too far away from me right now on this Zoom call. That's a lot cheaper than that and does very, very much more. I mean, yes, it doesn't have quite the deep integrations, but those deep integrations are, I would say, the least valuable. They look very nice, but I think they're probably the least valuable elements.
I think there's potential for them though, right? Like,
sure.
I still see this as a fantastic task management solution when it's ready. I am a little concerned about how long that's going to be and what state that's going to be. Because even now, like if I was just purely going to look at this from a task management solution, there's more than just those deep links need. We can't put any contextual information into those tasks at the moment. If you are, say you're using this as an opportunity to review a VAT return, for example, you'd really want to make that user maybe put some figures in, maybe, right? Like put some numbers into the task list or something. You'd want that functionality, wouldn't you? Like tell or a forward note for the next person, whoever's going to do it, to be aware of or something. Those sort of solutions aren't there. It's just a tick box. That's all you get. You just get the opportunity to tick, 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 tick. Because I was really hoping that once we get that data in, that real deep level data of how much their debtors are and all that sort of stuff, that we could really build a fantastic task management solution around it. We just don't seem to have those tools to do that yet. And every time that I question, can it do this? Can it do that? I just get told, well, that other solution that we're not really supposed to talk about doesn't do that. So there's not really any chance this is going to do it anytime soon, because they're going to have to build it from scratch, which blows my mind. I never used that other solution properly, but I was expecting it to be further down the development than it seems to be.
And I mean, when Xero launched it, what is I've forgotten what XPM, whatever they used to call it. They had theirs years ago. From I mean, I was never a Xero user really. I had 1 or 2 clients on it briefly, but I think they offered it for free if you had more than, if you were a whatever
Still do.
level Xero user. They still do. Okay. So to me, it is utterly bewildering that Intuit have not offered this for free to accountants who've got more than a certain number of, if you're a gold or platinum pro advisor, to not offer it for free within that, I think is insanity.
Yeah, especially when that in theory the process is already there, right? We've already got gold, platinum, we've got all of those tiers, we've got all of those opportunities, and adding another sweetie to that jar makes sense, right? And gives another benefit to it. But yeah, okay, Johan. This is where positivity comes shining through on.
I'm not going to get bogged down in feature comparity or anything like that because it's not fair on QuickBooks. I think they've come into a market space where if you've not got feature parity with everyone else on the market, you have to move bleeding quick. Like Client Engager went to the market end of last year, we did not have feature parity. We knew that. But we have moved at a hell of a pace to make sure we've got feature parity by the end of 2023. QuickBooks, I know, will not be able to move that fast. Like, look at how long it's taken them to build Books to Tax or Pro Tax. Like,
that's their own product that they can do whatever they can mold it the way they want, right?
Right. So they've come into a space where they cannot move quick enough to bring feature parity before others outpace them again. They're always going to be lagging behind because they haven't got the dedicated resources. Because if they came in with feature parity, competitors would go, crap, right, what can we do to have the edge on them? Great, we've inspired some movement in the practice management industry. Fantastic. Thank you, QuickBooks. But they've not done that. They've come in at a pricing model that I don't disagree with. They're pricing on the base of number of clients. And I think that is a better reflection of growth of a firm and affordability.
Yeah, agreed.
So if I have 10 clients, but it takes 10 people to deliver those services, then paying 450 quid a month to another practice management software for those 10 users isn't affordable. So, but they've placed themselves slap bang between ourselves, Client Engager, and the people they've white labeled this from. So it's kind of interesting that they've undercut the people they've white labeled it from.
And is that official? Because I've never looked at their pricing, and I don't understand how their pricing could be any more than this. That just blows my mind.
The pricing of the people they've white labeled it from starts at £99 a month.
You're kidding me?
No.
For no client portal.
No client portal. And you've got limited amount of e-signings before you have to pay for more, etc. So,
and that gives you up to 250 clients.
Yeah.
So that's more clients though than the 100, I suppose. If you're doing apples to apples, right? But still.
Yeah. So they've priced themselves in between these two pricing models, and I kind of get why, because they chose to go down the client pricing model route, and that's fine. But I think they've forgotten who their market is. For people that are using QuickBooks, like ambassadors of QuickBooks, people that are passionate about QuickBooks are the small firms. There is no, them trying to please the top 100 firms is a complete and utter waste of time and uphill battle because this isn't even fit for them.
Oh, no, not a chance. Yeah.
It might be affordable for them, but it's not fit for them.
No.
So they need to please the people that are the majority of their user group, the small firm owners. And they've priced them all out. I don't think, if you're a one-person band, so you're running your firm, your accounting or your bookkeeping firm with just yourself, 50, 60, 70, 80 clients. I think I got 80 clients before I brought in a part-time person to help me. All of the competitors that charge per user are cheaper than that. If we ignore Client Engager completely, anyone where you charge per user is cheaper than that. Even Carbon, and they're seen as a premium product. They've just completely, they've either not done their research properly, or they've completely misunderstood the market they're looking at. But I think their biggest weakness to date is going to be the fact they cannot bring in feature parity to every competitor in the market quick enough.
No. And they don't need feature parity, they need a USP, right?
Exactly. Like Client Engager is getting to feature parity. We've got one, maybe two more features that we're knocking out this year that will put us on feature parity with everyone else in the market, or overextend what they've compared to everyone else. But every time we knock out a feature that brings us feature parity, we do it in a way that gives us a USP. So this week, we've just announced 648 integration is coming this year. Now, feature parity with the likes of Accountancy Manager would mean we're requesting codes to be sent in the post.
Yeah.
The step above and beyond is the fact that we're going to do MTD VAT authorizations through the API with HMRC that Accountancy Manager haven't moved to do anything with since VAT MTD came out, 2 years ago, 3 years ago?
Longer than that.
So we're always finding that edge. QuickBooks doesn't need feature parity. It needs a feature parity and a USP. And deep links into QuickBooks doesn't cut it as a thing.
Well, it can do when it's put out. I just don't feel like they'll have the tools around it to do anything useful with it. Like you need to have a certain collection of tools to be able to make the most out of that data, right? You know, in an ideal world, it's task management where it's not based on just dates and times. It's based on how dirty or clean the client's records is.
But are you paying 70 quid a month for a task management process?
You'd pay a lot more, wouldn't you? Yeah. Because that's where I kind of saw them as going for. Like, you're not going against Accounting Manager. You're going against Dexposition or whatever the Zama became. It was Dexposition, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And if you're going against I get
I
it.
don't think that's what their overview tool does, though.
But that's per client, right? The idea here is you get a holistic view to be able to see that and be able to react to, right?
I don't think they actually know what they're trying to do here. I think that's the problem. They don't know what practice management software actually is and the key functionality of it. So they've got a bit of practice management blended with a bit of task management that isn't in depth enough for anyone to really use beyond a certain amount of uses. And then they've got a bit of deep linking to pull in the analytics, which when everyone nags us at Client Engager for like the zero integration, it's more of a kudos thing and a status thing than it is like the value it brings is minimal. All it does is it two-way syncs client data and pulls through invoices from those clients and maybe gives you the ability to raise an invoice in Client Engager and put it into QuickBooks and stuff like that. It's really, compared to the impactfulness of other features, it's minor, but everyone wants it.
But is that you're looking at that from what the QuickBooks integration gives you now, which we all know the APIs haven't been updated in a long time. We all know it's lacking.
The zero API is worse.
Is it? Right. Okay.
Like,
because my assumption was that they would give you more functionality.
So on the QuickBooks API, we can pull through a debtors report.
Yeah.
And we can see all the debtors information. We've had to build something to do that for us. And now, if you want to drill down and see the whole detailed list, you click you're going to click on the widget and it's going to take you into your zero to see the report because it's not available on the API.
Wow. Okay.
So in practice management terms, the zero API is no better. If anything, it's slightly worse than what QuickBooks is providing.
What QuickBooks is. Wow. Wow.
So
I did wonder on their, I was going to say on their pricing, I did wonder because QuickBooks itself, the bookkeeping package is, as we know, much more expensive in the US. All software tends to be a lot more expensive in the US.
Completely. Yeah.
And I mean, just the basic packages in QuickBooks are staggeringly expensive over there to a UK eye that's used to the pricing of software over here. And I wondered whether the pricing had somehow been influenced by Intuit in the US saying, no, if you're going to launch this, it needs to be at a much higher price.
But
If that
But
is
you
not
need
the
a
case,
product that can demand it.
it's just UK, isn't it, for this one? Because doesn't the US have their own practice management? Because it's all through ProTax, isn't it? And there's a
maybe,
Yeah,
but
and
it may
they
well
have a
be that they were
deep
told.
carbon.
they have carbon over there, do they?
I think they've got a deep link into carbon, which is white labeled
Right.
into practice management.
Wow.
For practice
I
management
did not
in
know
the
that.
US. It's not popular, but they've got it. Like the reason the US QuickBooks is so expensive is they've got complete and utter market dominance, and they can demand it, and people will pay it. They don't have that in the UK, which is why the prices are cheaper because it's more competitive a space. They don't have a market-leading product here in the form of practice management that can demand the premium that they're asking for.
Agreed.
Put it this way, I'm not worried about client engager clients dropping off, users dropping off and telling us they're moving to QuickBooks.
Yeah.
That we were worried. End of last
okay,
year,
right.
start of this year, we were very worried if we've just gone into a market where QuickBooks are going to dominate and offer this all for free or dirt cheap.
Yeah.
The more we heard over time, the less worried we got. And after the announcement, we just went, when you've got that SWOT analysis and strengths, weaknesses, threats, etc.
Yeah.
QuickBooks isn't on the threat part anymore.
Yeah, so I just quickly looked at the pricing for.
If anything, they're on the strength because it now helps highlight the value of us.
Yeah, true. So just to push that, they've made it even higher. In the US, the advanced version is $200 now. I knew it was like $150 for a while ago. It's now up to $200 a month.
Just for the QuickBooks, you talk about QuickBooks itself, not for their practice management.
QuickBooks Advanced.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Right.
sorry. I was just saying about you were mentioning how.
Yeah, their pricing.
Yeah. Because I knew it was about $150, wasn't it, for QuickBooks Advanced? Now it's up to $200 a month. 90 for Plus. But I have just hot off the press, and we'll talk about it next week. But there is chart of accounts templates now live in the US model as well, and I know that's coming to UK soon. So that'll keep everyone happy, right? Where we can go through, pick a chart of account, and have that as a template going forward. So interesting, right? So practice management wise, then, there'll be some updates for it that we can keep an eye out for and tell people. I don't know how much longer I'll be allowed to stay on the beta for, but
after this,
and there's definitely no. I mean, for me, I have to call up the thing and have a chat with them about pricing for a feature that I'll use for just my bookkeeping clients at the moment. So, I don't know. Yeah, it's just not. Yeah, it's just not been fully baked yet, has it? So we'll wait and see how that comes through.
The problem is they don't have time to fully bake it. The practice management space is so competitive now.
Yeah.
That what helps practice management softwares win is the community and the culture and the followers that it has. And like Accountancy Manager's got a very brand loyal group of people. Pixie's got a very brand loyal group of people. Client Manager's got a very brand loyal group of people. I don't see QuickBooks even attempting to build that concept.
Why the Pixie ones loyal?
Well, we all make mistakes in life.
I get the rest. I just if that's the solution, then
Sold the dream, not delivered the dream.
Yeah. Paul says, personally, the price point isn't that much of a deal breaker in my opinion. My concern is it's too feature light for the price, and knowing into it could be years before it's classed as feature rich. Yeah, exactly what we've been saying. Abdul's celebrating it. Why are we celebrating this practice management solution? Please do let us know. And Curtis says, my QB trial ends 1st of November. Question is, Kirsty, are you staying on or not? And that's it. I mean, we've got over time. What more can we say? Oh, just good to see you guys there. Yeah, great. Thank you for that one. Brilliant. So what can we say? I mean, it is what it is, isn't it? It's practice management solution. We've been asking for it. They delivered, in fairness. We did, because we were scared
I'd
about
rather the delivery was missed.
We'll revise it in 6 months' time and see what happens. I think that's the best thing to do.
Yeah.
And then we can judge it on its final iteration, isn't it? I just don't know what they can do with it based on their base product. So let's see what happens. Okay. Charlie, do you want to tell anyone where they can find you? Any more bits you want to talk about? Plug.
So please come and find me and about 750 or so other QuickBooks Pro advisors in our Facebook group. QBOA UK is the group name on Facebook. So please come and find us. Lots of interesting chats in there and a place to ask all your questions and things that, great to see that.
Maybe put some practice management questions in there. Let's see what we can.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's a very good idea.
Because we're part of Accounting Council, we can get that feedback directly to them. So if you've got any feedback on it, then that's definitely the best place to start populating it. Johan, do you want to plug anything? Is there a product or anything you would recommend that people will look at
if you know what, if you want to see how Client Engager works and what we're truly like, the litmus test is always our Facebook group. If you go in there, you'll see what our response times are like. You'll see how we look after our users, and you'll see how we keep you informed on roadmap ideas. If that's what you want to do and you like that, then go for a trial. So our Facebook community group is Practice Management Excellence by Client Engager. You just have a couple of quick questions to answer, just to make sure you aren't one of our competitors trying to sneak in like they were a few months ago. But yes, join us there. Also, I've got a day in a life vlog video thing going on YouTube every week on a Friday night at 6 p.m. So have a watch of that. And then join us with Ask the Accountant every week at 8:30 a.m. on a Monday morning.
Nice. And the plug that we've got to also make is the fact that we're going on tour. So from next week onwards, we're in Glasgow. Straight after that, we're in Reading. And your meeting's there, aren't you, Charlie, at Reading? You're going to be there?
I'm only joining one date of this rock and roll tour. I will be in Reading on the 12th of October? It looks like Thursday the 12th of October. I'll see you guys in Reading.
Perfect. After that, we've got Chelmsford. After that, we've got Leeds, and I've missed Brighton at the end, isn't it? Which is the final leg of the tour. So we're looking forward to that one. I've got a session myself on QuickBooks tips and tricks. So if there's anything you want to go and see about getting the most out of QuickBooks, then that's what it's all going to be about. And Johan, what are you talking about on stage? You've got a panel, haven't you?
Part of a panel at each location. We'll be doing a panel on various topics, all sorts of different topics. So come along. It's a good day at the office.
Yeah, highly recommend it. And potentially, maybe a little quick update from QuickBooks Labs as well. We're going to try and condense what we've learned there, if there's any new announcements or anything. I'm not expecting new announcements, but we could be in for something. There could be something released there. And it'll be good just to have that conversation. There's people at Apron's going to be there. So it'll be a good chance to have opportunity. And if you do see us as well, you get yourself a coveted top trump as well is on offer. So, definitely come and say hi. So we're going on tour starting next week. Can't wait for that one. And that's it. That has been another episode of QuickBooks Labs. Thank you, everybody, for listening, chatting away, talking away. Remember, if you are not joining us live, then why not think about joining us live? That way you can ask us questions like everyone has been doing. And you can keep us honest as well if we get anything wrong, which it was actually really useful in Ask the Accountant last week when we found out that I got things wrong. Any chance of an Ask the Accountant mini podcast pit stop on the roadshow? Not Ask the Accountant branded, but QuickBooks Lab branded is on the work. So don't you worry about that. We will try and get that one sorted. Thanks for all your questions. If you're listening via podcast, don't forget to follow us on Facebook so you can join us live on any future episodes. And we should be back with our normal time next Wednesday, first Wednesday of the month. And keep an eye out for a mini QuickBooks Labs style something or other about the roadshow as well, because we definitely want to tell people what they're missing out on for that one. All right, cheers everyone. Thank you for such a insightful little chat there, everyone, and thank you for all the comments, and thank you to my co-hosts as well as we go and press the outro. So cheers everyone, thank you, and we'll see you next time.
Goodbye.
Bye.
As an accountant, I've got something to say. I'd like to introduce you to a whole new way to help small business clients. It's easy as 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. QuickBooks Online. Accounting you can customize. Just sit back and relax. It works with over 300 apps. It can sync up with
Client Engager,
PayPal or
NetTracker,
Shopify, and with
Gold
that,
Cardless,
you
get paid
can
easily.
analyze. With
Cresco,
QuickBooks you'll get paid instantly. While
Smooth,
Stitch Labs tracks your
funding
inventory.
options.
QuickBooks Online. QuickBooks Online. Can save money and time.
QuickBooks Labs.